All right, 151 students, well done. You now have access to the textbook. So in this video, what I like to do is actually go to my math lab and kind of walk you around which buttons you press, kind of look what a homework problem looks like, where all the help is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And what you're currently looking at is our home screen for our Canvas class. Over to the left, there's a link to my math lab. So just click on that. And then it's going to ask you to open it up in a new tab. All right, and then from Pearson, I think that's a nice demonstration that Canvas and Pearson are separate. So make sure you're aware of that. You're going to sign in, and you know, I have a whole bunch of classes, but there's our 151 class. Okay, and what you should see is our home screen. Now, the home screen you're looking at is actually my screen. So here's what your home screen is going to look like. It'll usually give you a 2-week outlay. Once assignments start getting up there, you'll see some little green dots on the dates that those assignments were listed. Or you might see them listed down here right below. As a matter of fact, you kind of see where it says past due assignments, current. You'll see those start queuing up. But before we do anything else, since we're brand new to this, the first thing you probably want to do before going forward is do a browser check. So in the Welcome My Math Lab note, there's a browser check link. Click on that, and it's going to tell you whether your browser and your plugins, all your technology on your end is fit, and mine's fit. It's correct. So that's good news. If it's not, you're going to have to get things checked up so that you can access and have a full reign in My Math Lab. So there's our course home. After you've checked your browser, right, the next button that you'll be pressing is the assignments button right below course home. When you press the assignments button, it'll list all the assignments, those that are past due, those that are currently due, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For now, since we're starting, the first assignment is actually an orientation. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but I highly encourage you guys, especially if you're new to My Math Lab, do the orientation. It kind of, again, does a little bit more detail about the interface, how to bubble things in, how to graph, how to plot points. So make sure you're doing that. But what I'm going to do is just kind of get to the nitty gritty here. Let's go ahead and just say I want to do a test. Right now, I was experimenting and walking around. So I've already gotten question number 14 correct. So when so if you've done some past work and you click into the assignment, it kind of starts you where you were at. So let me go ahead and demonstrate. You can do this linearly, start with question 1 and go around, or you can do it in any order you want. I'm going to go all the way to 27, see what it asked me to do here. And there's basically what the homework question looks like. So they're asking me to find the value of the expression if x is 5 and y is -2 of the absolute value of x plus y. All right, so that gives me a little opportunity. So x is 5, right? And y is -2. We're adding that and finding its absolute value. So this is basically the absolute value of 3. And of course, the distance 3 is away from 0 is 3. So for my calculations, the answer is 3. So I'm going to come over here. If I had to write a fractional answer or a radical answer, there's a nice little template down on the bottom. But right now, I just have 3. I'll type it, check my answer, and lo and behold, I'm right. All right, so that's good. All right, going on to the next problem. It's a kind of a similar problem. Right, let me go ahead and clear what I currently have. And this one I'm going to get wrong, right, just to kind of show you. So we have the absolute value of 1, right, plus the absolute value of -1, right? But I'm going to mistake this. Rather than thinking of this correctly as 1 plus 1, I'm going to think of this as 1 plus -1 and say the answer is 0. So this is incorrect. I did a wrong misinterpretation of that, but it's a classic mistake students make. They kind of forget the absolute value. So I'm going to put an answer of 0. I'm going to check the answer, and of course, it's going to tell me I'm wrong. All right, make sure you're substituting the correct values of x and y. So it even gives me a little bit of a hint. You guys have 5 attempts to get a problem right. So obviously, I've used one of those 5 attempts. So if you're struggling a little bit, now what you can do is go to the bottom left here, and there's a couple of keys that are open. One is help me solve this. This is kind of an interactive thing that you're going to go through and literally type in, right? The problem, check the answer, right? So I put things incorrectly, and then one, it gives me some information. Take the absolute values of each. Of course, that's the mistake that I made, right? And then it says, okay, you did a good job, and then 1 + 1 is 2, and so I got the answer right. So I like that because it actually helps you do the problem step by step, especially if you're struggling a little bit. So close. I can come in here, type in the answer of 1, and get it right. If that doesn't help, you can also view an example. All right. Again, it's not as interactive as the last one. The numbers are different, but it does walk you through, right? It's showing the substitution. It's showing them taking the absolute value of each piece and then actually adding that in. So that gives you a little bit more. It's not as interactive as the last one, but it kind of does the work for you if you would. And then, of course, if that doesn't all work, there's Get More Help. In this particular problem, there's a textbook link and Ask My Instructor. Some of them also have a video link, so I'm hoping to find one of those here shortly. But the textbook, it'll take you right to the textbook section that goes over this. Ask My Instructor, it'll allow you to send me an email with comments. It'll give me information about what problem you're on. It'll show me your comment. That way I can give you a response back. I might either do that directly or wait until we get to our class meeting, and I'll address the whole class because maybe everybody's having a problem with a particular problem, okay? But we know the answer to this. Let me go ahead and keep getting it wrong. So let's just say I said 2 for some dumb reason, okay? And because I want to show you something real quick, right? Let's just go to the next problem because I want to make sure, yeah, let me jump out of this. So let's go close this. Let me leave. All right, and you'll notice that it's updated. So I've got 2 questions right and 1 wrong, right? So that's also a nice, clear way to see what I've got right. But I want to find something that has a video as a help. Let's see if I'm a little bit more luckier here. All right, so when it goes to Get More Help, no video there. Leave. Somewhere down the end here. Nope, I can't find one. Getting a little unlucky there, but there's a textbook, and then what you'll see is a video. Those videos that you might find in some of the problems, those videos are different than my videos. They're what Pearson has made. So, it might help you when you see a problem with the video and you're struggling. Go ahead and watch that video. I apologize. I wasn't able to. Let me try one more time. So maybe sometimes they have them earlier in the problem set. So for this problem, yeah, Ask My Instructor. Yeah, well, that actually shows you that. So I apologize. I'm really screwing up there. One more time. Let's do question 25. Maybe that'll be. Nope, no video. Maybe they didn't do it for this section. All right, but usually they'll have a video as well. So there's a lot of help for you available if you're doing a problem. So, but let me go ahead and go forward. I hope you got the gist of it. All right, so course home, right, takes you to our home page. Assignments takes you to the assignments. And then if you ever want to check your running percentage, like I said, Pearson keeps a running percentage. Right now, for the homework that's given, I've only completed 3.39% of it. So what I'm going to do every Friday up to the end of the semester is take that percent, multiply it by 400 to get your homework grade. So you can do it yourself. As you kind of work through, you can get a sense of what your homework grade is just by checking your student grade book. If you ever want to go to the textbook, hit the e-text contents. Now there's e-mobile and accessible e-text, or just on your computer. I'm going to choose that one. And what you can do is actually go to the text and read some of the stuff yourself. So, perhaps, that's the kind of learner you are, is to kind of read about it, the traditional way. And this is basically how you would do that. So, there's a table of contents over here. We are working in the review chapter, right? And we were working R2, Algebra Essentials. So, we just looked at the homework. If you're struggling with it, perhaps you want to come over to the actual textbook and kind of scroll around. And, there's the comparison problems. Let's see if I can find, there's the absolute value idea, right? And yeah, here's an example of actually evaluating expression. So we did something similar to part D right there. So you can actually see them going through, just like a traditional textbook, going through a problem. So you have lots of help in order to finish the problems. And again, as I mentioned, you have basically 5 attempts. And then if if you're really struggling, the help's not helping, that's when you really need to bring a question into class. All right, so let me go to the student home view and start wrapping things up. So again, the student home, right, kind of gives you a 2-week outlay as well as assignments. The assignment page itself, okay, the student grade book, and the e-text. All the other buttons, if you want to experiment with them, go for it. But to me, they're a little bit useless. So that's basically your interface on my math lab. You get to work, start getting ready for your first exam, your first test in the following week. All right. So without any further ado, let me start cutting this off. And one last thing I want to remind you before I sign off is the deadlines in Canvas, the guided notes are hard. So every Monday night, if you don't get them done in time, you will get a 0. But the deadlines in my math lab, the homework, they're what I call soft. They mimic the deadlines for Canvas Monday nights at midnight. But if you don't get all the homework done by that time, don't panic, because you can always work on things that are past due. It'll, as you saw on the screen, there's a past due section, current section, and if there's something that you missed or you didn't finish a section earlier, just click on it. It'll ask you if you want to improve your homework score. Just say yes, and then you're back to doing some old homework. So you always can do homework all the way to the end of the semester to improve your overall score. Okay, so that wraps up that discussion. So keep on working, and I will talk with you guys later.